Off, 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 off. Off.
Why?
I was getting shocked through.
You're kidding.
Jesus, sucker's heavy.
Feel like Hank Hill coming in the workshop.
Oh, dang, mother.
So today is another furnace video, and I think it's very relevant for this time of the year. People are starting to get cold, and they're kicking on their thermostat for the first time, and no heat is coming out. What the heck just happened? Well, in my case, out here in the workshop, easy. I was out of propane. This propane bottle cost me $102 to fill. It really depends on how much I use it. If I forget to turn it off at night, could get 2 months out of this. Now, right behind you, I turned my mini split heat pump. So many of you sent me that these heat pumps are like some super futuristic technology, and it takes high level of sophistication to know how to work them. It's pretty funny. I do question and answer every Sunday. A lot of the future business videos come from those questions where we got to dive deep. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. It's about a homeowner who is doing DIY project on his furnace, and I'm just there for moral support and an extra set of hands. He wasn't able to fix his furnace. There's a dirty secret about the HVAC industry. I'll tell you how to get around that at the end of the video. This is capacitor. There used to be a capacitor that was inside of here. This is what's there now. So we're going to pull that off, test it, and replace it. And hopefully it'll get rid of that buzzing sound that you heard when the fan first started up.
What can also happen is that this will bow as well.
When it goes bad?
Yeah, the top will swell.
So that should read 10.
Yeah, or plus or minus 6.
It'll blink. 10.4, so the capacitor isn't bad. So even though the old capacitor tested fine, we're going to put in a new capacitor and test the fan start up again. See if that fixed it. If not, we're still pulling out the motor, checking it, lubing it. Jesus. Our new capacitor had no effect on that buzzing sound. Sounds like a bad motor.
There it goes.
Did it move?
Yeah.
Try it again? I'm not getting anything. Is it moving?
I think so.
So the squirrel cage is seized up on the shaft. The set screw is loose as can be. We need a guy with some WD-40. There it goes. So you can see all the rust on this shaft here. Don't do this at home. Stand on one foot.
Ooh. Off, 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 off. Off.
Why?
I was getting shocked through.
You're kidding.
No.
Zapped.
Yeah, I was getting even zapped a little bit through these. All right, let's try one more time here.
I told you to stand on one leg.
All right, go ahead. I can feel it.
So it's your motor. That motor just buzzed. I don't think any lubrication is going to do anything.
Try that one more time.
Try one. Did you see that wobbling?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not wobbling. I'm going in deep. The motor and the capacitor were replaced in 2013. There's a little thing up here on the ductwork that says that. So we have determined that the motor's bad. Capacitor is good. Tested good, and the new one was only $7. So we are going to put this all back together so they have air conditioning and get a new motor tomorrow. If Carrier will sell it to us. They're a little stingy on who they sell their stuff to. But right now, we got to clean this up, this shaft up a little bit here, and that hole right there, get that lubed up, and hopefully we don't have to beat it on there. So the motor's put back together. There are lubricating sponges in here. I didn't show it because the motor's pretty bad, but we're going to fire it up for you and show you the difference with just using some lube. So a little quieter, still has a little bit of a vibration when it starts. I got a feeling once the squirrel fan is back on, we'll get more vibration out of that and buzzing. Even though it's still marred up a little bit, you can see a little bit of the scarring from the rust and corrosion right there. This has been dressed up with 400 grit sandpaper while running, and that's had some rust stuff in there. Didn't have my WD-40 with me, but we've run a brass brush in there quite a bit, and we're hoping we can get this squirrel fan on the shaft and reset. Now there's a set screw that tightens in right there without any issues. And we'll be cooling within the minute. Oh, that slid in real good, didn't it?
That was so easy.
Oh, felt good, huh? Wrong hole. Wrong hole. Okay, so this is a, I guess you call it a table test. We're going to kick it on. It's always had a little bit of a wobble, the fan, but we're going to see how much buzzing we get. We do know that the motor's shot. We will be replacing the motor. This is just to get air conditioning for a day or so. Ready? Go! Not really any vibration. That's pretty...
It's less vibration than there was before we took it apart.
Yeah, still makes that annoying noise. But I think we're good to shove this baby back in there. Push it in. Got some fancy gloves. That's it. So this capacitor just dangling here is how the last tech installed this under a warranty repair. And that was 9 years ago. So the replacement motor and this dangling thing here has lasted 9 years. Won't fit in here. I think when we replace the motor, we'll try to find a better solution for this, but we want to keep this away from touching or grounding out against the housing here. We're going to fire it up again and see if it works. Got a little shake to it. Not much though. So why wasn't this guy able to fix his furnace or his HVAC unit? It's one and the same. You got your furnace, and then on top of your furnace is an A-coil where all your refrigerant blows through and it gets cold, and the same blower that blows heat blows cold air out your vents. Carrier would not sell him the blower motor. Straight up, nope. It's just a motor, but we will not sell it to you. So how do you get around that? You gotta have a friend. And in the last video, there were several comments when I hinted to this video. You gotta know somebody. You gotta know somebody who knows somebody who's got their credentials to buy a motor. But we have something else. We've got the internet. And anywhere on the internet, you can take your part number, plug it into a parts warehouse, and they will send it to you. That's option one. If you live in a major city, like I do, you can go down to your local parts warehouse. The same place that I go to get a microwave magnetron or a diode will sell me the blower motor with no questions asked, no license, no credentials, no nothing. They sell to whoever has money. That's the benefit of living in a big city. Any appliance part, any screen, anything is available to me within hours. This friend of mine, he doesn't live in a major city. All the parts that his carrier supplier gets come from the city that I live in. A lot of you that follow all my videos, I really appreciate you watching every one of my videos. You watch it to the end. Every Sunday, I do a Q&A on Instagram, and somebody asks me, where's your banquets? Where's the banquets? When's the next live stream? And it might be tonight. I'm just gonna put this right down here on this cast iron Powermatic 66, 3 horsepower, 220 volt. Providing heat for your loved ones is essential for being a man. Whether it's baseboard water heat, whether you live in an old house, there's radiators. There is so many similarities to these sources of heat. All right, everybody, how am I gonna get this around this bike? Reverse thread on these propane tanks. So righty-tighty, not the case. Lefty-tighty. All right, we're gonna fire this up. Even though I've had that heat pump going for about 4 or 5 hours, and it's like 69 degrees in here. Don't need this yet. I go over why I've got an 80,000 BTU furnace in the ceiling. In just a second, we're gonna get this baby snugged up. We're gonna get the line purged, and that's it. Whoop. Open her up. You gotta do the spit test. I won't put that on YouTube, but we'll do a sniff test. I think we're good. So I'm gonna kick off Kamala Harris's super sophisticated heat pump. I'm just taking off the side panel of this furnace, and you know, honestly, if the fan hits the shan, I could put this in my living room and have the exhaust go right out the window and heat the house. 80,000 BTUs is pretty significant. All right, now got my phone. I believe it's connected to the Nest. This is the first fire up in over a year. Heat is set to 69 degrees. I think it's, there we go. I just set it to 74. I'm gonna bring you in close so you can see what's happening. There's nothing coming out here. Exhaust fan is pumping air out of the workshop, and there'll be a click in here that will start sucking gas in. Keep in mind, it's got to go through this hose, so it might take more than one time for the gas to make it all the way to the burners. There we go. We got heat. Man, that was flawless. Worked perfect. And it's actually heating up the burner box. That's what I call it. It gets to a certain temperature and air starts blowing out. There's a big fan right there. Some guys make a shroud around that fan cage. If you can see that there. to get more airflow. You can see this duct here. It's just parked right in front of the vent and goes into the other room. Here, that's a little washed out because I've got a shop light parked in the little window here. But I've got warm air, nice warm air coming into this room. This is where the air compressor is. This is where my welders are. It's where I mix paint, things like that. Got a lot of paint storage up here. This room is kind of storage for right now, but I do need to keep all these chemicals from freezing, as well as all these chemicals from freezing. Hopefully you gathered some information about heating your house, heating your workshop, heating your garage from this video. That's why I made it. So going forward throughout the winter, I'll be using both systems. The propane furnace, which I converted from natural gas to propane. There's an old video on my business channel about how I did that. And I will also be using Kamala heat pump, the very, very sophisticated piece of technology on the wall right there. So that's how I have my system set up. Big heat up there, maintainer heat over here on the wall. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.